Today I feel like doing something crazy and just switching mediums on you and talking about video games for once. And what better way to do that for the first time on this channel than by talking about one of the most beloved franchises of all time, The Legend of Zelda. I love Zelda, and I have for a long time. Link to the Past was the first video game that I ever bought with my own money at 7? Yeah, yeah, 7. It was my birthday money for my 7th birthday. I remember that because of the house that we were living in at the time, and I only had one birthday there. I love the monsters and the story and the quest and the weapons. I actually like flipped through the instruction book just for more pictures of the characters to find out more about the story and the world. And when I wasn't playing it, I was watching my dad play it so I could know how to get past the part I was currently stuck on. Sometimes he played after bedtime, which was just mean. But I loved Ocarina of Time. I've never beaten Majora's Mask, but I appreciate it for what it is. I adore Twilight Princess. Link's Awakening is great. The series is just all around pretty awesome. And I really love the story. The whole hero's journey, medieval quest, quasi RPG-ness of it all is just so much fun. Weirdly though, that story is something that a lot of people complain about with a lot of the games because of its repetition. There's been a pattern for a while in what I would call the main Zelda games. Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Oracle of Seasons/Ages, thanks, Pokemon, Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, Phantom Hourglass, Spirit Tracks, Skyward Sword, A Link Between Worlds, Breath of the Wild, and Echoes of Wisdom. Pretty much all of the ones that pertain to Zelda, Ganon, and the Triforce. Those are all of the ones that have the most repetitive story. Young Link leaves his home to go on a quest. I don't mean Young Link like Young Link the character, like Young Link, that kind of thing. He gets a sword. He has a series of tasks to complete before he gets the Master Sword. Then he has to go on a longer series of quests to be able to face Ganon and stop him from grasping the Triforce or taking it from him and prevent him from destroying/enslaving Hyrule. Link goes into dungeons and finds new items to help him on his quest, and it's just a lot of fun. There are recurring characters and races throughout every single story. There are even recurring items before Breath of the Wild decided that everything needs to break, and you don't get the thrill of getting better and cooler items, and you really can't get excited about finding any new thing because you know it won't last. Even the Master Sword, an item that was actually anthropomorphized in the preceding game, becomes useless after a short time, and it doesn't break, but it does have to recharge. I think I'm the only person on the planet that didn't like that game. But I wanted to address the repetition aspect and how it kind of got messed up after the official timeline was released a few years ago. Oh gosh, that was over 10 years ago now. Jeez, I'm so old. I think that the timeline was a mistake. For one, part of it is stupid. Why is Ocarina of Time the only one that develops a separate timeline if Link dies? Also, there's a second alternative if Link never grabbed the Master Sword. I think it was done because Majora's Mask is technically Ocarina of Time 1.5, so there had to be a branch that came out of Ocarina, and they just decided to make it keep going to other games for some reason. And he can see no reason. But I also dislike the timeline because it breaks what Zelda was. What it was lies in the title, The Legend of Zelda. I can't remember where I saw it. It was way too long ago. But long before the timeline was a thing, someone asked Zelda's creator what the order of events was and if there was reincarnation going on or what. I'm going to have to paraphrase and elaborate a little bit. He said that thinking about the different games in terms of a timeline and reincarnation is to misinterpret what they are. What they are is a legend. The thing about legends is they get retold, and things change as they're retold. The older they are, the more they're retold, and the more they change, and the changes compound in different directions for different locations until you have different versions in different areas of the world, and no way of knowing which is the right one, or if anyone even knows it anymore. And what's fun is that's what the main Legend of Zelda games are. A legend retold. Different versions have led to different details cropping up, but a lot of similar details remain. The characters, the objects, the people, that kind of stuff, the races. To me, as a storyteller, this is cool. The idea that the starting point is the same story, maybe the most recent one, maybe the first one, and then asking what's different this time, what are we tweaking? Retelling the same story each time, but with subtle differences or larger differences, but you could see how they could be part of the original story as well. I think This is why the first Zelda game on any new system is usually one of those retellings. And only the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance have multiple retellings and then spin offs. It's almost like the system itself is telling you a new version of the story and then what happens next in that version. I find that really interesting, and it makes me excited to find out what the next retelling, much more so than the question, where does it fall in the timeline? It doesn't. It's just another version of the legend, and what you should be asking is, which one's the real story? That's all I've got. You'll see me next time if you subscribe. Bye.